Warning, the following podcast contains spoilers about the movie in this episode. If you haven't seen the movie yet, then you're in the right place.
Neither have we. We strongly advise you to watch it along with us and join in the discussion afterwards. Or not. We're not your daddy. Actually, yeah, we are. Salutations, good people. Welcome to Who Hasn't Seen That?
We haven't seen that. A podcast where we watch all the movies that we should have seen by now.
That's right. And today's movie is Blade Runner.
How have we not seen Blade Runner yet?
I don't know.
And
it has escaped me.
We were talking about the 1982 Blade Runner because they did come out with a new one a couple of years ago.
Right.
So, yeah, we're going to be talking about Blade Runner, and I have a little synopsis down here. So, we have not... So, with The Shining, I feel like I've seen a lot of just clips and
Sounds.
just a lot of talk. Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen anything from Blade Runner, so I'm really going into this
Anything
blind.
that we know.
Yeah, well, that's true.
There
Yeah,
could
we
have
may
been
have seen stuff.
There could have been a ton of modern references or
Yeah.
throughout pop culture, and we've never
true.
known.
So, Blade Runner, the synopsis is... A Blade Runner must pursue and terminate 4 replicants who stole a ship in space and have returned to Earth to find their creator. So, I have no idea what a Blade Runner is. My first assumption is some kind of bounty hunter.
So you said a Blade Runner.
A Blade Runner. So,
Must.
a Blade Runner is a profession,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that sounded very specific. Like, you
Yeah.
think like a bounty hunter
Yeah.
hunts people for a bounty.
It could be some...
A Blade Runner has to hunt down 4 replicants, yada, yada,
Yeah,
yada. I mean, that's
yeah.
like a mission. So maybe it's somebody... It leads me to believe it is a bounty hunter because it sounds like somebody
Yeah.
is looking for a Blade Runner.
But who knows? I don't know. And
I don't know
Replicant-
what that means.
Replicant is... I don't know. Sounds like a clone or something.
Maybe somebody who's stolen an identity.
Yeah. Now, I have a little bit of a key in on what a replicant is, only because of some of the rest, like some of the other stuff that I've written down here. So, starring Harrison Ford as Rick Deckard, Rutger Hauer as Roy Batty, and Sean Young as Rachel. And it is directed by Ridley Scott, or Sir Ridley Scott, and it is based on the novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. So I'm going to assume replicants are androids.
Okay.
If it's based on it. I mean, it could be clones. I might be thoroughly surprised. It may be clones. I just, going into it, knowing that it's based off of a novel titled Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Yeah.
Probably androids.
Okay.
Screenplay by Hampton Fancher and David Webb Peoples, and it was released on June 25th, 1982, and it is rated R.
Okay.
So, yeah,
You said 82?
1982.
Okay.
So, just a couple of years after The Shining released. Shining was in 1980.
And what's our fun fact between the two?
So, these are connected by shots, and what do we mean by that? It's kind of poetic in a way that the intro shot for The Shining, like all of that footage, basically Kubrick shot a bunch of footage, didn't use all of it, and Ridley Scott came over and was like, "Hey, can I, like, that footage would be perfect for Blade Runner. Can I use it?" And Kubrick was like, "Yeah, you can. Just don't use anything that was in the movie."
So
And-
here's a week's worth of aerial footage.
Yep, and so that footage appears in the ending shot, or the ending scenes for Blade Runner. So that's kind of fun.
That is fun.
It's not an intro, it's not sprinkled somewhere throughout. Apparently it is in the ending scenes.
Yeah.
So that's cool. There was a sequel to this movie released in 2017 called Blade Runner 2049. That was not directed by Ridley Scott. That was executive produced by Ridley Scott. And there was apparently an animated Blade Runner called Blade Runner Black Lotus that aired on Adult Swim last fall.
Oh, interesting.
And the biggest fun fact is, while I was going through, the day that I started looking at this stuff and prepping for this show, it was announced that there's going to be Blade Runner 2099, which is going to premiere on Amazon Prime. It was just announced.
Like
So,
a movie or?
it's a TV series.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, there's going to be Blade Runner 2099 coming up. And Ridley Scott is executive producing that as well. I don't know if he had a hand in Black Lotus or not.
Okay.
But he will
super
not be
cool.
returning as director.
Okay.
So,
Predictions.
predictions. I mean, I didn't know anything going into this. I knew enough to know that it seemed like Blade Runner took place in the future. Now we're talking about replicants, and they're pursuing. He's pursuing them through space, or they stole a ship in space or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going to be some kind of space movie. It's going to be the future, I would assume.
Yeah.
I don't know why these replicants. Like, I don't know if replicants are normal in society. Like, is it a normal thing? Is it something up and coming? Like, are these rogue, like, AI, whatever? Like, are they becoming sentient?
Yeah.
And they're like trying to escape, and he's pursuing them. Like, I want to know why they stole the ship. Or is this like, are the AI already rogue? And it's like, I don't know. What if they're like pirates?
Right.
Like, what if you have just like android pirates or clone pirates or something?
How long?
I don't
know. What year was Star Wars?
77? Or was it 7? No. Was it 1970? No, 70 was Halloween.
Ziggy, what year did Star Wars
Episode
release?
4, New Hope. Well, that's not today, but
That's
thank
not
you.
today.
Yeah. 40 years ago today was May 25th, 1977. You heard it here, folks.
And actually, today is February the 16th.
Yeah.
But 77.
77, okay.
Okay, so Harrison Ford is a bounty hunter? Potentially?
Which, I don't know. That's, yeah. You think
I mean-
smuggler to bounty hunter. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's all I can think about is
Yeah.
Harrison Ford in a Star Wars-esque role.
Yeah.
I think at this
I wonder
point,
if that helped him land this role.
I would think so.
Depends on when they started shooting, I would imagine.
I don't know, 82 and 77.
They're pretty close. I mean, that's within 5 years.
Yeah, but still, I would think
Yeah.
the two would be
Which,
far
if it
enough-
released in 77, he was done shooting. But that doesn't mean he wasn't already working on,
Blade Runner. Or no? Or the second
Empire Strikes
Star Wars.
Back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that released,
Huh.
I don't know when that released. I don't know.
I'm going to say Blade Runner draws. I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
And I've not heard this come up in conversation. This may be something that people go, oh, yeah, I've heard. Well, duh. Everybody knows that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like this is going to be one of those things, but I have no reason to lie. I believe that maybe, now I just sound like I am lying, but I don't know. With those facts,
Yeah.
with it being in space, I didn't realize Blade Runner was going to be in space.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I would say with Harrison Ford and it being so close to Star Wars, I'm going to say that Blade Runner draws a lot from Star Wars.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
So a little bit of trivia before we dive on into the movie. Granted, I don't know Blade Runner, so this does not mean a whole lot to me, but I'm sure it will after the movie. Rutger Hauer, who played Roy Batty, improvised the iconic line, "All those moments will be lost in time like tears in the rain." And he also later chose "All Those Moments" as the title for his autobiography. So that's kind of a fun little fact. It's just cool. I love when you find those, like, here's Johnny, like that was improvised. Like, that stuff's so interesting to me. Like, oh, that wasn't in the script? Like, I don't know. The final scene was shot hours before the producers were due to take creative control away from Sir Ridley Scott. So just got that final scene in there. Was that your stomach? What was
It
that?
was.
Good Lord.
I'm on a new program. Sorry.
It's okay. Another cool fact. Sir Ridley Scott's favorite movie of his. This is the favorite movie that he's ever directed. And specifically, the final cut of it, which was released in 2007, is his favorite version.
Oh.
So that's pretty cool. And I think the final cut, or no, I think his original cut, and this feels like pretty standard back in the day. I don't know, like, this was also kind of a recurring theme with Stanley Kubrick. So his original cut, before, it was all really edited down and you took it to theaters, was like almost 4 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember what the length of the final cut was. It wasn't the full, like, it's not the original cut.
Gotcha.
And it's not like, I guess not the director's cut either, I think he said. One final trivia for you. Harrison Ford cites it as one of the most frustrating movies he has ever made.
Oh.
I'm probably going to butcher this. I have it on my phone, but we're using my phone to shoot this. But Harrison Ford, it was because, like, grueling shoot times and some stuff was changing. It was changes made in post-production that was supposed to make the movie better or more well-received. and I don't think he liked it. I think they had to overdub some lines too, or maybe they had to dub like a bunch of audio.
Yeah.
I forget what I was reading there about it, but there towards the end, Harrison Ford and Ridley Scott just like hated each other and pretty much wouldn't talk.
Yeah.
And there was a guy, I forget who it was, but he cited as saying that Harrison Ford would have killed Ridley Scott had he not been talked down from it. Like, he was angry. Yeah. No idea what that was over. Just a little bit that I read. So that's just a fun fact to kind of keep in mind as you're going through and watching this.
That is really fun.
Yeah. Which is interesting because I know, because I looked up the cast and the details, Harrison Ford does reprise his role as Rick Deckard in the sequel of Blade Runner. But Ridley Scott does not direct that. He's executive producer. So I wonder if they have reconciled or if he was just like, oh, Ridley Scott's not going to be there? Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll do it. Like,
interesting.
That's, that's all I know of the sequel, and that's all I know about Blade Runner. But if you've not seen this movie yet, or if this is your favorite movie, or you just want to watch it again, go ahead and dust off that VHS player or your favorite streaming platform. And this is your chance to go watch Blade Runner. You can pause this podcast. We're going to take a quick break and then come back. And we're going to give our little review.
Right. Let's go watch it.
Yep.
Let's go watch Blade Runner while I cry in the rain.
All those moments will be lost in time. Like tears in rain.
Since the dawn of time, the human race has been deprived of originality, quality entertainment, and astute fart jokes. But no longer shall we must endure such a painstaking and laborious experience. From highlighting colossal creators, stitching together scrumptious skits, and pouring their hearts out into a 5-time Emmy Award-winning... Your mom's a 5-time Emmy Award-winning... globally/internationally recognized podcast. Subauricular superstars Josh and Trey of the CS... Wait a minute. What do you guys actually do? What even are you?
Yes! We're the CS Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Trey.
Watch and listen to us on YouTube.
Or just listen on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And as soon as you pick that platform, come hang right now.
We'll be your daddy.
Hey, can I go pee now?
How many questions does it usually take to spot one?
I don't get it, Tyrell.
How many questions?
20, 30 cross-referenced.
It took more than 100 for Rachel, didn't it?
She doesn't know.
She's beginning to suspect, I think.
Suspect? How can it not know what it is?
And we're back.
About a week later.
Yes, we are about a week removed from having done the intro to this and watched the movie.
Yep. Thoughts, just general thoughts before we dive in and really just talk about everything. Just your overall impressions a week later.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I really don't know what I was expecting, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, we gave the whole synopsis and everything, and we had the impression that it may be in space.
Yeah.
And the whole thing took place in L.A. in 2019 of all places. 2019 L.A.
Right. 2019. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it was like... I thought it was going to draw a lot from Star Wars.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Well, especially with Harrison Ford being the main one of the main characters, or the main character pretty much.
Right. And this was only a few years after Star Wars.
It heavily could have been. They could have gone that route. Maybe that was the intention. Ridley Scott was like, well, you were in Star Wars. People are going to know you as Han Solo. This is another futuristic sci-fi movie. Let's not make you Han Solo.
Right. Love the atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely.
From the opening scene, That was the original opening scene, right? Or no?
Yes, I'm fairly certain. So it
was the credits
spoiler
that were
alert,
changed.
We watched the final cut because that's what was on Netflix. So
Yeah.
there are some minor changes here and there throughout the minor cut. For instance, I don't remember if the unicorn scene is in the original 82. Is it 82? This came out in 82? Whenever this came out. I think it was 82. The original cut, the theatrical cut, I don't remember if it was in there or if it was just shortened very little to where it's pretty much non-existent.
Right.
But they let the full scene breathe in this one with the final cut.
I didn't even notice it was a unicorn. I
you
thought it was a horse. I didn't see the horn on the head. You're like, the unicorn sequence. I went, what? Because to me,
the unicorns, the unicorn.
the horse scene wasn't very memorable. It
Yeah.
just, I didn't understand it. I'm like, why are we seeing a horse?
Yeah, I didn't either. And we'll dive into that here in just a minute or two. But yeah, so another big change is Harrison Ford does not have a narration in this.
You just told me that right before we hit record.
Yeah, so in the original theatrical cut, Harrison Ford has a narration. I don't know if it goes just in the beginning, if it's over throughout the entire movie to tie things together. I don't know because we haven't seen the theatrical cut. We've only seen the final cut.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. We talked about this right after we got done watching it, but it was oddly relaxing.
It really was.
Which is kind of the opposite that you would think of with Blade Runner chasing down these replicants and, retiring them.
There was just something about the vibe that never made,
it comforted. I get that way with film noirs though, and this was heavily for me, like a film noir. I don't know if it's technically categorized as one. It should be if it's not, because it's textbook, like
a lot of tropes.
Absolutely. You had the Venetian blind, across the, but they just kind of comfort me. Like, I like that atmospheric, I love the moodiness of the film noirs. So
I dig it too. Like, I don't get hard over it like you do, but but I do dig it.
Yeah.
And it, once you pointed that out, you're like, that's kind of like a film noir.
Oh, the detective with his whole trench coat vibe, and the street shots with the smoke coming up to set the atmosphere, and the lighting, and you had the lighting on the women was more it was a softer light than what you put on the men because they had the harsher, it's very, very film noir. It seemed like a one light shot for a lot of things. Just straight, just one light, give that harsh shadow. I really enjoyed that.
I did too. I was just never on edge, with the whole chasing. Yeah. Even though there was action, it just wasn't intense enough. I was never on the edge of my seat. So I really liked that it relaxed me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I believe the purpose of an action scene
should be
just to get that heart rate up and to take you on that little roller coaster.
Yeah.
But it never did that for me. So for that reason, it set such a relaxed vibe that the action scenes didn't really do much for me.
Yeah.
So I guess I didn't enjoy that part, that the action, that I was relaxed through the action part.
I could see that. I also I did not. It did and it didn't. I feel like I didn't really connect with a lot of the characters. I did not give a shit about the replicant that he was chasing through the streets and gunned down.
Yeah.
The one guy that we see in the opening sequence, that's being interrogated, that one replicant.
Yeah.
And then he later right after he guns down, right after Deckard. Is it Deckard? God, I can't remember.
I think you're
It's
right.
been a while. Yeah. It's after he guns down what's-her-face in the streets. Then the second replicant grabs him and is throwing him around, and Rachel kills that replicant. I didn't give a shit about that replicant too much. You know what I mean? It just, I don't know. They felt a little flat to me. I just didn't. I found myself not really caring about them.
Well, it made me. It was kind of tough to feel like to have. I don't know, to really have any ill feelings toward the main replicant.
Yeah.
At the end, because his cause was, despite him getting all murdery.
Yeah.
His cause was kind of noble for himself and his people. He just wanted to live longer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fairly normal mission.
Now, getting into Roy Batty, his lines are incredible.
Yep.
That was one of my favorite parts about the movie. He'd spout off some just meaningful,
Yeah.
just
You can tell he was the leader.
philosophical one-liners. Like it was great. Anytime he'd come on and he'd say some shit, and I'd be like, that was pretty good. Like I like that line.
One of the biggest emotions I had during the whole movie was one of laughter and just funniness. Him at the end,
Yeah.
the one shot
Yeah.
of him
I remember you
devolving
Yeah.
rapidly, and it was just the one still camera position and him running, and all you can
Yeah.
see is like his figure, kind of a shadow from that blue moonlight, and like a giggle and a laugh. Just
Yeah.
him running straight across the screen.
Yeah.
No cuts, just or he might have said something, I can't remember.
I don't remember.
But it made me it cracking me up thinking about it.
That whole sequence had us cracking up. And
It had me going,
didn't-
what is happening?
Yeah. And so, yeah, like we can kind of dive into a little bit. Like, apparently there's a lot of Christian imagery and like stuff in those sequences to allude to his apparent,
Godlike complex.
his God complex, which is interesting because I never got that vibe from him that he had this God complex. Like,
Yeah.
I knew he was trying to save his people, but I don't know, when I think of God complex, I think like I'm the best, I'm evolved, I'm the next evolution, like you guys are beneath me. Like it seemed to me he just wanted to live longer.
He even said to his creator, he said, his creator asked him, what is it you want? He said, I want more life. He didn't say, I want to live forever.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
didn't say,
yeah.
I want to be a god.
I want more than 4 years.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you created something that started to develop emotion, I don't know, seems pretty reasonable. I don't know, could you give me another he might have been happy with another 4.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, here's another 4.
Devil's advocate to that, would there be enough? Would he keep asking? Maybe
Of
that's
course.
what they mean, the God complex. But just to me, I didn't really get that God complex vibe. I just was like,
Yeah.
well, he's shutting down. This must be the ending madness. Like this is how they go out. They just fucking lose it.
And
It's
boy,
kind
did
of what
he-
I thought. But
Boy, did he
yo,
lose it.
There's what were we going to touch on? I said we'll swing back around to that in a second. Oh, the unicorn sequence. So yeah, I was just like, okay, this is weird and out of place. But apparently the unicorn sequence, a lot of people allude, because we don't know if Deckard is a replicant. That's kind of the big mystery of the movie.
Yeah,
Is he or isn't he?
right. But
and-
didn't it was all but confirmed.
Not really. I mean, it was kind of. So with the unicorn sequence, bless you.
Thanks.
It's supposed to signify him like railing against his programming, so to speak, like him breaking free and not being a slave to being programmed as Detective Deckard, Blade Runner, whatever. You know, him finally finding his own identity and his self. And like I thought, and we were both kind of confused there at the end, there was the little origami piece laying on the ground that he picks up, and he kind of realizes something, and then he gets in the elevator, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the end. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I thought, because that guy was just leaving origami pieces everywhere.
Yeah.
The guy he was trailing around with. My thought was, he's saying, hey, I was here. I could have killed you, but I'm going to let you go.
Right.
Like that's how I took it. But apparently, couple that with the unicorn sequence, it's a little origami unicorn. And how would the guy have known about the unicorn like the unicorn dream, unless Deckard was a replicant and that was programmed in him? Like he was given
and
that.
he knew of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Exactly.
Either he was a part of the memory giving process, or
because they talk about that they allude to that very heavily with Rachel. Like your memories are your creator's niece's memories. You know, it's like it's his niece,
right.
because she's like, well, no, I know I'm human because I agree. He goes, yo, you grew up and did this, you did this, your favorite thing was this, your favorite person was this, and like names off everything and knows everything about her life.
Yeah.
And that's how he confirms that she's a replicant. So yeah, anyways, to say all that, I love the acting in this, especially like I forget Rutger Hauer, who played Roy Batty. Like his whole demeanor as Roy Batty was incredible. And just that
was
whole
solid acting.
I know I laughed at him just going demented, but I mean that was a great sequence. And then his whole delivery there at the end, and then Harrison Ford. I like Harrison Ford. He's great.
Yeah,
he was a very toned down Han Solo in this, I think.
Good point.
Which I don't know. I kind of feel like in those early that's kind of what Indiana Jones is in a way. Like he's kind of or not a modern day, but like an old timey Han Solo. Like it's just kind of that archetype, and Harrison Ford's just really good at it. And then Rachel, what is it? Sean Young, I think is her name. Was great as Rachel. Like I loved all the acting across the board. I loved the shots. We've already talked about that. The lighting, the mood, the atmosphere, everything.
Said, or as soon as I saw it, like within the first 15 seconds, I thought, man, this movie looks ahead of its time.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that too. Yeah, like the CGI, like it looked like it could have been shot a couple of years ago. It really did.
So we both, or you brought up a point.
Yeah,
it is remastered.
It is. Yeah. So they,
however,
Ridley Scott went back and touched up some things just to make it look better for modern times. But I think only the CGI. I don't think he really did a whole lot with the shots themselves.
Right. But you noted too, while we were watching it or after or something, that was his favorite cut.
Yes, it was.
It says something if the director says this is my favorite cut.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I mean, for a movie to be shot, 82?
Well, 82 is 40 years at this point. It's 40 years old.
Even if it was remastered.
Yeah.
To say that looks ahead of its time.
Yeah.
And it's 20. What was so funny was that we both, you're like, okay, they thought that this is what 2019 was going to look like. And it is so out of reach.
Yeah. It's
for
hilarious.
Us. It looks futuristic today.
Yeah.
And for it to be 40 years.
Yeah.
That's saying something. That's huge.
And I enjoyed the story. I was entertained. I don't think it was anything special. I don't think it was anything groundbreaking, in my opinion. Like, I didn't find myself going, man, this story's great. Like, I just enjoyed it.
I did too.
I was sucked in. I watched it, and I just had a fun ride. There wasn't anything like, it's not like The Shining where there was that moment at the end where we're like, what the fuck was that? What is that ending?
Right.
Like there were no points in time where I was watching it going, what is this? Why? It was real stitched together.
Right. It was. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
After watching it, it makes me want to give The Shining a lower rating.
Yeah.
Because I know what I want to give Blade Runner, but
yes,
just because of the way it makes me feel, like a week later, how I think about it, because my emotions, like I really let, like, I try to suspend disbelief, get fully immersed in the movie, and not be a critic, like immediately after. But doing this, I'm trying to analyze it like I would like a wrestling match or like just the whole storytelling process. And I'm like, I know what I want to give it. I'm like, oh no, but I can't do that because I only gave The Shining this.
Yeah. Well, like I was telling you before we hit record, like I know what I want to give this. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I'm really comfortable with my rating.
I am too. And I'm going to explain it a little bit. So you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Well, we got to.
Oh, that's right.
We need gumballs.
We need balls.
If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen to your podcast at, we have a rating scale. So we have a old time gumball machine, who we know him as Curtis, and the only gumballs that he has in it, we say gumballs, but they're empty
capsules,
empty ball capsules. We have a rating scale of one gumball out of 5, and we yes I do. We put in however many gumballs we would rate the movie.
Yeah.
Into the
so
top
for
of
instance,
Curtis'
last
head.
week Shining for me got a 4, and for you got a 3.5.
Got a 3.5 from me.
Yep. So yours are already put together. If you want to go ahead and give your rating.
Sure. Do you wanna guess my rating? I said I was comfortable in giving it.
Yeah, I was going to say probably a 4.5. Is it? Or is it
So I'm gonna give it a 4.
a 4? Okay.
Yep, I'm gonna give it a 4.
I don't know why I was thinking you would go higher.
Yeah. Like it was, I really enjoyed it. Like, but I don't. A week later, I don't see myself wanting to rewatch it. As bad as you are,
Yeah.
time well spent.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was just like I said. I feel like action sequences
That's fair.
they have a purpose.
Yeah.
They should make you get excited and
Yeah.
break up the monotony. That way, when you come back down, it's
Yeah.
I'm very much of that roller coaster.
Now, we'll ask before you can keep that rating if you want to, but like, you got to think we are accustomed to like Michael Bay, these big blockbuster action sequences that we have now that weren't really the norm back in '82.
That's fine because even with older movies, I've watched older movies. Take Michael Myers, for instance.
Yeah.
There's an action sequence of him chasing somebody down.
Yeah.
And that movie was out before Blade Runner.
That's true.
And
Yeah,
it's a masked man and a knife.
Yeah.
And my heart is pounding.
Yeah.
So with this, they're running through streets
Yeah.
and pushing people.
Yeah.
That was my biggest.
Yeah. You did
Like,
have a little bit of a thing to say about that.
Yeah, it's not that I hated it. It's not that I just
comical.
found it hilarious how many unnecessary people got shoved in a chase sequence.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford and the actress that played the replicant who was the stripper.
Yeah.
Can't remember her name.
Not Sigourney Weaver. We thought it was Sigourney Weaver.
It looked like her.
It did.
in
There were a
certain
lot of
shots.
places. Yeah, a lot of shots that we were like, "Is that Sigourney Weaver?"
They
and looked it
both-
up. No, it's not her.
They both in one scene just pushed so many people.
They did.
Went out of their way and shoved them, and I noticed, and it just kept happening. And I'm like, we got to watch this.
Yeah.
So,
Giving it a 4.
because it was so relaxed,
Yeah.
we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
So I'm giving it a 4.
Okay. 4 red gumballs from Josh. I genuinely wanted to give this a 5 out of 5. The only reason I'm not is this is only the second movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I may have to go back and retroactively, like, I may have to change this at some point if I go watch something that's truly a 5 out of 5. Like, I really struggle with giving it a 5 right off the bat. It's just, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if I'm ready to give a 5 yet. Like, a 5 has to mean something, right? Like, I have
Not
to.
ready to give away your 5 cherry.
Yeah. Like, I feel like for a 5, I'm going to need to walk away from that movie and go, holy shit. And it needs to stay on my mind for the next, until we record again, a week later, 2 weeks later, even after we record.
That's why this gets a 4.
Yeah.
Because as much as I loved it, I didn't cut it off and go, oh man.
Yeah.
I just good example.
Yeah.
Of why I only gave it a 4. Last night I told you
that's right, yeah.
I finally watched the season finale of season 3
Yeah.
of Stranger Things,
Yeah.
which at the time of this recording, that's as much as they've made.
Yeah.
And the ending to that had me so filled with emotion.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the last time a show or movie made me feel that way.
Yeah.
So Blade Runner didn't even really come close to the emotions I felt last night.
I respect that.
So, however, in its own right,
Yeah.
fantastic
Do
movie.
you think maybe if you hadn't watched Stranger Things, you might have given it a higher rating? Maybe not. I just was curious.
I wasn't thinking about it at the time of
Yeah.
it wasn't fresh. I mean, it is fresh, but it's
Yeah.
not. I think it would have. I loved it for what it
Yeah.
was. It's just not 5.
1, 2, 3, 4.5 from me.
That's what I could have guessed.
Yeah.
You didn't want to give it a 5, but you gave it a 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5. Close as I could do it. I really enjoyed it, but I don't know. I'm hesitant to give it a 5. Maybe I come back and I change it later on down the road. Maybe we get 40, 50 movies in, and I'm like, yeah, these just still don't touch Blade Runner. I'm going to bump Blade Runner up to 5, and that's going to be my metric.
You
You know? Who knows?
know what I think would be to keep us from going back and making too many changes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we don't. So we keep this under control.
Oh, I'm not gonna physically change it, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, even mentally, I don't know, like putting your stamp on it.
yeah,
Is maybe once every month, once every 4 weeks.
yeah.
We go. Is there anything? Now that we're out 4 weeks, is
Yeah.
there anything that we want to go back and retroactively change?
Yeah.
Like by a little, or maybe just to completely change the rating. We can do it with one,
Yeah, yeah.
and it would keep us
That's
like,
not a bad
okay,
idea. I like that.
what's the one you want to change the most?
Yeah.
Like 2 months from now,
And who knows? Maybe nothing will change. Maybe we'll get there and be like, no, I'm very comfortable with where I'm at.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think it's enough time for us to go, I'm good, or you know what? I thought about it. I really want to
Yeah.
change it, but we can only do it once.
I like that. So, the next question.
Oh, we don't know what next movie we're gonna watch.
Well, would you rewatch this?
Oh, that's
Remember
right.
the
That's
gold
right.
ball? We've got the gold ball.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
You've got a gold ball. I don't have a gold ball. Or a yellow ball. Hold on. I got it.
Okay.
All right. Thought I had one of these on the table. Guess not. Yeah, that so I'll start this time
Yeah.
because I liked Blade Runner so much. Yes. But there's a caveat there that there's so many cuts of this freaking movie that I want to rewatch the actual, or I guess watch for the first time, the theatrical cut. Because, I mean, it's the same story, just a couple of cuts are different. Harrison Ford does the narrating. Like, it's a little bit of a different movie, so there's new stuff there. Like, yes, I would rewatch it. Now, if we wanted to just break it down to the final cut, I think I would rewatch it again. It pumped me up enough that I immediately, after we got done watching Blade Runner the next day, I downloaded Cyberpunk and
Right.
played it. Like, it had me itching for more. Like, I wanted more of that atmosphere. So I think I would rewatch Blade Runner just to watch it again. Whether it's with somebody else or me just going, I haven't seen Blade Runner in a little while. Let me watch Blade Runner. So I'm gonna give it a yes.
Okay. First gold ball.
Yep.
So I told you I was gonna have to copy
Yeah.
your response to that, but I'm not copying it because I would watch the original with Harrison Ford's narration.
Yeah.
And I want to say, like, not long after we watched the movie, I was like, I'd totally watch this again.
Yeah.
But right now, if you said, hey, man, you want to go watch Blade Runner?
Yeah.
Right now, it would be really hard
Yeah.
for me to like, I don't know. A lot of people can relate to this, though. You watch a movie and you probably don't go back and watch a lot of movies twice.
Yeah. I know I don't. I really have to be in the mood. And I think Blade Runner 2 is one of those I would just have to be in the mood. Like,
Same.
I'd have to be in a certain mindset. Like,
That's a good point. I would rewatch it in the right mood.
yeah.
But does that earn a gold ball if I have to say that?
I don't know.
And does it earn a gold ball if I say I would watch? It's not rewatching it. It's not rewatching the thing I just watched.
Yeah.
I would watch it again if it was the original cut. So I think I'm gonna have to say,
Yeah. The question is, it's one of those. It's a weird up for debate. Like, because the movies, I mean, it's just about the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't have as much of the unicorn. They added in the Shining footage
yeah.
for the theatrical cut, and Harrison Ford narrates.
You know, if I have to question it,
Yeah.
I don't think it gets one.
I think that's fair.
I think if I have to
Yeah.
question it, because like I said, I would
Yeah.
watch the original version, but I think that's it.
Well, that gives us, what, 4.5 for me, 4 from you, so that's 8.5 plus 1 yellow ball for a total of 9.5 stars out of 12 possible.
That's true.
Yeah, I know that's a weird scaling system for those that are just now tuning in and have no fucking clue what's going on.
Are you keeping track of mine?
I'm
yours?
keeping track of, like, time signatures so I can go in and drop the animation.
Okay, so you gave it 4.5.
Yep. And you gave it a 4.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell us in the comments, what did you think? Did you enjoy it? Have you...
I was going to say, if you watched it with us or watched it alongside... Which cut did you watch, first of all?
Yeah.
You may be going, what? That doesn't sound right. I don't... Like, what are you talking about? Harrison Ford did narrate over... Then you probably watched the theatrical cut. Like, they're one of the other 12 cuts that there are. There's a lot. There's, like, the director's cut, the final cut... The theatrical cut, there was a cut just for UK.
Right.
Like a UK theatrical cut that had a little bit more violence. Like, just depends on which one you watch.
Yeah. So let us know. Which cut did you watch? What did you think? Was it your first time? Did you rewatch it just to kind of listen to our review?
Yeah. If it's your favorite movie, let us know.
Absolutely.
Or if it's your new favorite movie. That's kind of a cool thing. How many people... Are you listening? You found a new favorite movie. You know?
Right.
I never really thought about that, but we could be discovering new favorite movies, not only for us, but for you listening.
How wonderful would that be?
Yeah.
Or maybe a new favorite 80s movie.
Yeah.
So Shining was 70s.
Shining came out 1980.
Oh, it was 80.
On the dot, yeah.
Okay.
But it was like 5 years of pre-production and shooting and stuff, so.
That's right. Okay. I was going to say we went 70, 80. Maybe we should go to 90s and then just start over, make a little loop.
Yeah.
But maybe we should go to the 90s.
Yeah, Blade Runner was 82. Shining was May 23rd, 1980.
Okay. Well,
so right there, almost at the cutoff.
So did we tell folks on the last episode that we were going to watch Blade Runner?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. We don't have a movie picked out, do we?
No, I was kind of going down the list. I mean, we could watch Taxi Driver. We could watch... we could go ahead and really dive balls deep into it and just start with the Godfather trilogy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's probably a lot of frown faces right there, people that love the Godfather, but I'm with you. Like, that's a lot.
That's a lot of time.
It's 9 hours. Bare minimum.
So I've got one. I know we said that we weren't going to watch too many movies that one of us has already seen.
Oh, yeah.
But it's been a long time for me.
That's fine.
I just know I really enjoyed it.
There's not many on that list that vice versa, I have seen and you haven't, or either way. So
maybe we can go ahead and knock one of those out.
Okay.
If you're up for it, because I'm really ready for you to see 7.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We can do that.
I'm so ready for you to see that.
Okay. Yeah. Then we'll watch 7 for next week's episode, or whenever this next week for the next episode.
There you go. All right. So any of you 7 fans, if you've seen it, if you've not, get geared up for that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, who hasn't seen 7?
We're going to knock this catalog out one movie at a time.
Who hasn't seen 7? Trey hasn't seen it.
Or yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that.
All right. Well, with that being said, we've been the Skullish Hush Puppy, and I got some food to go eat.
And until then, my ghastly gang, stay spooky.
Who that?